Update!
I think we can all agree on one thing. It's time for a haircut. It's time for a haircut. I just got back. We just got off the road. I went with my family to the UP to see our extended family, and it was awesome. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. This week I would like to talk about film versus video. I was gonna put an explosion there, but I just got home and I'm tired, and I'm gonna cut this together real fast. I'm gonna try and do it without very many cuts. That would have been a cut, but I am trying to do it with very few cuts so that I don't have to edit this. There's gonna be some edits in here, so there's not an explosion there. Gotcha. Right. So I have shot with film before. I shot with film. We shot on Super 16. We shot Twisted Thicket. There's this, that's what the poster behind me is. It's for Twisted Thicket. You can see it right there. There's enough plot for like a feature film there, but we only had enough money to do a short, and so I kind of tried to cram too much plot into it. There's a, it's on YouTube. It was hidden for a while, and then I unhid it, and then a few people took a look at it, so click on that if you want to see the thing we shot on film. Here's the thing about film versus video. Film used to be a necessity, because you could get much deeper colors, and you know, you were shooting in true progressive, and it was beautiful, alright? Here's the thing though, it's expensive. It's expensive. You need to get the film stock, and then you need to get it developed, and then you need to get it color corrected professionally, and then all this stuff. But like then we have these high-end digital cameras shooting HD, man, and you don't really need to do film anymore, in my opinion. There are always going to be purists, and it's the whole Robert Rodriguez versus Quentin Tarantino debate, you know? Robert Rodriguez is always like, oh no, you do digital, and like, look at all these tricks you can do with digital, and Quentin Tarantino's like, but I love film, and, or, you know, he'd be more like, I love film, Robert, you know? I love Quentin Tarantino, so that's not like, I'm not trying to put him down, because he is an amazing director. Anyway, but, and this last season of House, the last episode was shot with the Canon 550D. I think it's D. Shot with the Canon 550, and it looked gorgeous. I mean, a lot of that had to do with color correction, but you don't miss film. You don't miss film when you watch that. They usually shoot on film, 35mm, and they chose the 550 because they got the 35mm inside in it still. The 7D has a different chip that it's reading with, but the 550, but then you gotta crop it, and anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think everybody would benefit from shooting on film once. Like, you have to do a lot more rehearsals. You have to get what you need right away. Like, on an episode of PoPS, our ratio is probably like, we shot 10 mini DV tapes on this HV40 here. So our ratio, it's gonna be about a half hour, 40 minutes. This episode is turning out long, and I'm making really good progress on it now. We're almost to a rough cut, and then all I gotta do is color correct and get the music in there. I'm sorry if this seems kind of haphazard, but I am very tired. We just got off the road, as I said, and I need to get this update done so that I can spend all of Sunday putting episode 4 together. I need to get as much time in as possible. I know this is very stream of consciousness. Twisted Thicket we shot over 3 days, and we were always on schedule, and everything was planned to a T. And our shooting ratio means how much of what you shoot ends up in the final product. So if everything that you shoot ends up in the final product, that's a 1-to-1 ratio. If only half of your footage does, it's a 1-to-2 ratio. Our ratio on Twisted Thicket was 1-to-3. Alright, that is a very tight ratio. And our ratio on a PoPS episode would be 10-to-1, 20-to-1, 20-to-1 ratio of what we shoot versus what goes into the episode. Video is much more flexible, and for anybody who doesn't have any money, it's the only way to go. If you have the opportunity to shoot on film once, I highly recommend it, because it's a lot of fun, and you feel like what you're doing is big time. But let's talk about the doobs. The next TV blog is in there, and also in the doobly-doo is a link to Jarvi Java. I haven't plugged it in a while, but we just went up to visit my extended family, and we brought a couple bags of Jarvi Java, and everyone was all geared up about it, because their last name's Jarvi too. So, last week's question, did you go see Harry Potter? A lot of people did. A few people do not like Harry Potter. Fair enough. A few people thought the pacing was a little bit slow. I loved the movie, and we're going to go see it again on Tuesday, now that my sister's in town. This week's question comes from last week's comments. The Noise Master asked me if I went to the cinema alone. And why is it that we feel that going to the cinema alone is a bad thing? Do you go to the movies alone? Yes or no? If not, why not? And do you like it? I myself have gone to the movies by myself. I used to go all the time, and I like going to movies by myself. It's one of the... We actually talked a lot about family memories over the Thanksgiving weekend, and I realized that the only memories I have associated with family vacations or times in my life, I use reference to what I saw in the theater around or at that time. And it got really, like, disheartening. Like, people would be like, oh, do you remember this happening? I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, oh, do you remember when we did this? And I'd be like, no, but this is what I saw in the theater that trip. Do you go to the movies by yourself? Yes or no? If not, why not? Let me know. Leave a message in the comments. I'm really making good progress in the episode, and I will see you next week.